Bus Simulator India. Let's be honest, most mobile driving games usually feel like cheap asset flips, but Bus Simulator India genuinely surprised me. You are not just randomly driving around empty streets. You are actually navigating realistic Indian environments complete with insane traffic and authentic highways. The attention to detail is honestly impressive, especially the iconic horn sounds and fully customizable bus liveries that let you create your own unique look. It even has a multiplayer convoy mode, so you can basically just cruise around the map with your friends and cause absolute chaos on the roads. If you ever wanted to experience the stress and excitement of being a real bus driver in India, this is probably the best way to do it without leaving your room. Fire Truck Firefighter Squad. I have played a lot of emergency simulators, but Fire Truck Firefighter Squad might actually be the most action-packed one right now. Instead of just driving one boring truck, this game basically gives you command over an entire fleet of helicopters, boats, and firefighter planes. 1 minute you are navigating heavy city traffic to reach a blazing high-rise, and the next minute you are literally dropping water on a massive forest fire from a chopper. The fire spreads dynamically, which means you actually have to think fast and use strategy rather than just spraying water everywhere hoping it works. Plus, getting out of the vehicles to clear rubble on foot adds a whole new layer of immersion that keeps you constantly hooked. Jetpack Joyride Racing. Nobody was expecting a racing spin-off from one of the most iconic mobile games ever, but Jetpack Joyride Racing actually goes hard. Rather than an endless runner, you are now drifting and boosting against other players in pure real-time multiplayer chaos. Playing as Barry Steakfries while timing your drifts through slow zones and charge zones feels incredibly satisfying and dangerously addictive. The upgrade system uses collectible cards to unlock new abilities, which genuinely makes every single victory feel like you are making real progress. If you want fast-paced, high-stakes racing that does not take itself too seriously, this one is definitely worth downloading immediately. Kamla Horror Exorcism Escape. If you think most mobile horror games are predictable, Kamla is guaranteed to absolutely destroy your nerves. Set in a creepy mansion in 1980s India, you play as a priest trying to perform an exorcism on a newlywed woman possessed by a terrifying demon. The entire vibe feels like a mix between Outlast and a dark cultural mythology, where every puzzle you solve puts you in even more danger. You are constantly searching for ritual items while praying she does not hear your footsteps and decide to chase you down the hallway. The sound design alone will make you want to pause the game and take a breather, so definitely play this one with headphones if you dare. Bridge Constructor Studio. Some games just want you to relax, but Bridge Constructor Studio wants to test exactly how far your engineering genius can actually go. At first you are just placing a few wooden beams to get a car across a small gap, which seems innocent enough. But then the levels introduce monster trucks, pizza vans, and massive gaps that literally require you to build steel ramps and insane loops. The best part is that there are no budget or material limits, so you can completely ignore logic and build the most ridiculous structures just to see if they survive. Watching your beautiful creation completely collapse into dust because of one bad measurement is both heartbreaking and hilarious at the same time. The U Testament. 2D coming. There are weird mobile games, and then there is the U Testament, which feels like a completely unhinged fever dream in the best way possible. This is basically an open-world historical sandbox where you can interact with over 200 characters across dozens of locations, and every choice matters. You can choose to enlighten the masses with mystical powers, or you can literally grapple and throw people around like a professional wrestling match set in ancient times. The controls are pure retro chaos with combat mechanics that allow you to block, dodge, and craft items while surviving an unpredictable world. It is rugged, bizarre, and honestly one of the most unique role-playing experiences you will ever find on your phone. Chameleon Run Halfbrick Plus. Auto runners usually get boring after 10 minutes, but Chameleon Run constantly forces your brain to work in overdrive. The entire gimmick is that you have to switch your character's color midair to match the ground before you land, which sounds easy until the game speeds up. By the time you reach the later levels, you are doing double jumps and head jumps while frantically swapping colors just to survive another second. The physics feel incredibly crisp, and because the levels are not randomly generated, You can actually memorize the layouts to get the perfect speed run. It is one of those games where you die 50 times in a row but instantly hit retry because you know you can beat it. Mob Control. Mob Control is one of those games you download just to kill 5 minutes, and suddenly you have been playing for 3 hours straight. You are basically shooting blue characters through multiplier gates to create a massive swarm that absolutely crushes the enemy bases. Watching your army explode from 10 units to 1,000 in a matter of seconds triggers something deeply satisfying in the human brain. Adding champions and cannon upgrades keeps the strategy surprisingly fresh, especially when you start raiding other players in base invasion mode. It is the perfect definition of a casual game done right, delivering non-stop action without forcing you to think too hard about every move. Project Maniac. If you miss the pure adrenaline rush of Titanfall or Mirror's Edge, Project Maniac is bringing that exact energy straight to mobile. This is a pure parkour action game where fluidity and momentum are everything, allowing you to wall run, slide, and grapple without missing a beat. Chaining together a perfect run across the test environments feels incredibly rewarding because the controls actually respond exactly how you want them to. It is currently in the playtest phase, which means the developers are actively taking feedback and adding new zones to explore. Anyone who cares about movement mechanics and fast-paced gameplay needs to jump into this one and start practicing their combos immediately. Desert Worm Idle RPG. Most idle games just have you clicking buttons, but Desert Worm Idle RPG actually lets you control a massive terrifying sand monster. You are basically hunting beneath the dunes, devouring enemies, and collecting resources to evolve your worm into an unstoppable beast. The gameplay loop perfectly balances relaxing arcade exploration with intense RPG progression as you upgrade every single segment of your monster. Exploring different zones like toxic wastelands and ancient ruins keeps the visuals fresh while you constantly hunt for new prey to consume. It is strangely meditative but also action-packed, making it the perfect game to leave running in the background or actively play for hours.